Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगुणगुणान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे शिवगुरुं विनतारं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasharas Sasharasanam Udyamya Mrigayorvanagocharaha Antasadurmrigandhinam Veno Sakiti Arojanaha Sasyarasanam Udyamya Mrigayurvanagocharaha Antyasadurmrigandhinam Veno Savityarojanaha Sasharasanam Udyamya sorry Shasarasanam Udyamya Mrigayurvanagocharaha Antyasadurmrigandhinam Veno Savityarojanaha Sasharasanam Udyamya Vanagocharaha Sasharasanam Udyamya Mrigayurvanagocharaha Antyasadurmrigandhina Veno Saviti Arojanaha. Mataris Sarasanam Udyamya Mrigayurvanagocharaha Antyasadurmrigandhina Veno Saviti Sarojanaha Sasharasanam Udyamya Mrigayurvanagocharaha Antyasadurmrigandhinan Veno Savityarojanaha. Saha, the boy, that boy of the name Veena, Sharasanam, his bow, Udyamya, taking up, Mrigayu, the hunter, Vanagocharaha, going into the forest, Hanti, used to kill, Asadhu, being very cruel, Mrigan, deer, Dinan, poor, Venaha, Vena, Asau, there he is. Iti, thus, Araut would cry, Janaha, all the people. Translation purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After fixing his bow and arrow, the cruel boy used to go to the forest and unnecessarily kill innocent deer. And as soon as he came out, all the people would cry, here comes a cruel Vena, here comes a cruel Vena. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kshatriyas are allowed to hunt in the forest for the purpose of learning the killing art, not to kill animals for eating or for any other purpose. The Kshatriya kings were sometimes expected to cut off the head of a culprit in the state. For this reason, the Kshatriyas were allowed to hunt in the forest because this son of King Angabina was born of a bad mother. He was very cruel and he used to go to the forest and unnecessarily kill the animals. All the neighboring inhabitants would be frightened by his presence and they would call, "Here comes Vena, here comes Vena." So, from the beginning of his life, he was fearful to the citizens. Again, Om Agyana Timirandasya, Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Seek the blessings of all the devotees, online, person, especially His Grace Yogesh Prabhu. So, this is a very wonderful verse. Every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is wonderful because every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam actually glorifies Srimad Radharani. So, this particular verse is speaking about how the character of Vena would cause fear in everyone's heart. So, whenever there is yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever there is irreligion, then Krishna himself descends to destroy the irreligion. So, here Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that Kshatriyas, they need to be expert or they need to know how to punish the wrongdoer. Srila Prabhupada says if Kshatriyas, if they don't punish the wrongdoer, then that person may end up in the next life having to face that karma. That's why it is important for the kings to punish. So for that purpose, Prabhupada said that for that purpose, they were allowed to hunt in the forest. So every single responsibility or every single privilege, privilege comes with the responsibility. Of course, it's not a privilege, but it comes with the responsibility. It's like Srila Prabhupada says that if a doctor performs surgery and he cures the patient, the doctor is awarded, the doctor is glorified. But the same doctor, if he goes home and uses this apparatus to hurt or kill people, then he will be put in. The same doctor will be put in jail. Same way, the uh, soldiers in the army, when they use the weapons to kill the enemies, then they may be given a medal. But if they come home or if they go in the town and they kill the civilians, then they themselves will be put behind bars. So power is very dangerous. Power can corrupt someone. So that's why before accepting any power, the person who is getting the power, he should be uh, trained, he should be evaluated, and mm, all the power should not be given at once. Little should be given. Little responsibility should be given. So Kshatriyas are very important actually for us because nowadays there are no real Kshatriyas. That's why we're in such danger. That's why there is no religion nowadays in general. In the world, people promote atheism. Generally, atheistic principle is promoted. Why? Because in atheism, you don't need to follow anything. You can do whatever you want. And after you follow whatever you want, then we will end up in wars, then we will end up in problems, then we'll call United Nations, and then nothing will happen. So that's Prabhupada's point. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kind of difficulties, and for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Yeah. So, like the king of Orissa, those days they would fight, they would protect Lord Jagannath from foreign invasion. So in this way, in this world also, we'll just finish this context. So here Vena, mm, because he was a born of a bad mother. So this is very important that those persons who are engaged in procreation, mm, especially the mother, they should be very saintly. So they can only be saintly if they are trained in that way. So nowadays, the way women are trained in the material world is completely unsaintly, completely unsaintly. And for that matter, men also. There is no training on how to become a sage, how to become a saint. And if you're not trained how to become a saint or a sage, definitely you develop all the bad qualities. So, if just like Mother Suniti, right? Mother Suniti, she gave birth to Dhruva. So Dhruva was such a saintly person because even though he had the desire to uh, get a kingdom which was far bigger than his than even Brahma, he had such a very powerful material desire, but at the same time he had respect for the Supreme Lord, and he could understand uh, the fact that how Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is uh, the only one who can give us everything. So therefore, when he was told that Krishna is a person and you have to go to the forest to attain him, immediately accepted. So this all comes due to samskar. There is gross samskar and subtle samskar. So gross samskar and gross samskar and subtle samskar. So gross samskar is, of course, the mother giving birth, and subtle samskar is the qualities, the qualities. So these qualities are actually due to the mother's consciousness. So according to the mother's consciousness, the child will be affected because in the initial stage of one's life, the only person with whom one interacts is actually the mother, mostly the mother. So if the mother is not a serious devotee, then definitely the child will not become a serious devotee. So it is very important for both members to become very serious devotees. Should teach by example. Parents should teach by example. Basically, simple point is that we should understand that this material world is a place for suffering. It's not a place for enjoyment, and therefore we need to go back to Godhead. So, with this consciousness, if the parents act, then only the child will develop the good character. Generally, mothers want children to be good, but the problem is you cannot be good unless you're connected with Krishna. Yasyasya bhaktir bhagavatir akinchana. Prabhupada says, those who are devotees of Krishna, they have all good qualities. But those who are not devotees of Krishna, they have no good qualities. Even though, like people outside in the material world, they will appear to be very nice, no, very courteous. No, how are you doing? I'm doing great. No, I'm doing fantastic. No, so this kind of words people flatter, but ultimately at the end of the day these are just temporary transitory moods which are based on one's desire to enjoy. The moment that is the fruit is taken away, so it's like, for example, instead of getting a job, if you lose the job, then you see the real character of the person. That shows that actually that character is not the real character. It was just something which was like an artificial facade. Why? Because Krishna, pure devotional service, was not in that person's subconsciousness. Because when we understand that we're answerable to Krishna, then we are careful. But when someone does not feel answerable to anyone internally, then naturally, externally, they'll behave in whatever way possible, whatever way helps them to fulfill their needs for sense gratification. So, Vena here is symbolizing the modern. Nowadays, people are like Vena, although they may not always do things like Vena, but ultimately, everyone wants to enjoy. speaking for myself, everyone wants to enjoy at the expense of others material enjoyment. So, what is the problem with desiring material happiness? Envy. It triggers envy. And from envy comes hatred. And from hatred comes more and more degradation, more and more degradation. So, unless Krishna is introduced in someone's life very prominently, it is impossible to actually become a good person. It's impossible to become actually a good person. Therefore, we need to in at home we need to introduce Krishna not just as a person who is there on Janmashtami or Radhashtami or Kartik, or will go once in a while and just crack some coconuts and do some obeisances and say hi and then bye. But Krishna needs to be a part of one's life. Krishna, we need to enter Krishna's family. That is very important. So we need to discuss Vrindavan pastimes. We need to discuss the spiritual world with our family. Sometimes, in the name of uh, being humble or being whatever it may be, we say no, no, we should not discuss anything about Krishna. Rather, let us discuss everything about everything else. Krishna will just keep it to very briefly. Krishna is Supreme Lord. I am His servant, and yeah, that's it. Nothing more. No pastimes, no philosophy, nothing. Oh, my children. I'm not indicating anyone here who is listening, but I'm just giving an example. So my children, they should know everything about everything. But about God, that's okay. Just okay. Krishna is God. That's good enough. So that will not help. That will not help. We need to discuss Krishna Katha deeply. Krishna Katha, like Parishit Maharaj, if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, how deeply he's discussing about Krishna. He's asking why this, why not this, how did this happen, how did that happen. So it's very important because if we don't discuss, then it is impossible for someone to become attracted to Krishna. And if you don't become attracted to Krishna, you become attracted to Maya. And when you become attracted to Maya, all the bad qualities are enhanced. So we need to, in our homes, we need to discuss this. And yes, Vena. Here, Vena is symbolizing the behavior of someone who is filled with envy, just like a snake, right? A snake, even if nobody does anything wrong, a snake will still go and bite that person. So, Vena is actually symbolizing that. So, when we see something like that at home or outside, we need to do something about it. There are two problems. One is behavioral problem, one is philosophical problem. Actually, behavioral problem is not so bad. Philosophical problem is worse. Why? Because his hardwiring, his core values, that is a problem. When someone does not recognize Krishna, does not care about Krishna, then his philosophy is atheistic. And in atheistic philosophy, if someone has an atheistic mindset, then they're doomed. They're doomed. They will never improve. They will never change. So it's very important. That's why that uh, parents educate children about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. It's like yesterday I was reading mm, Prabhupada saying in the purport that it's very important for whoever is situated in whatever ashram to very strictly follow. Prabhupada said if you strictly follow, then you will perceive Lord everywhere. If you perceive Lord everywhere, then you will act according to the inspiration given by Krishna, not given by Maya. And that will save one lot of trouble. Lot of trouble. Therefore, it's very important for us to follow the rules and regulations of our ashram very strictly, whatever ashram we may be in. It's not that, uh, okay, brahmachari, grihastha, but until you become brahmachari, you can do anything and everything. No, no. We need to follow some rules, we need to follow some etiquette. Otherwise, uh, we are not giving ourselves the golden opportunity to become attracted to Krishna. So, Yeah, we cannot be naive, we cannot be sentimental that no, I cannot say anything. Now it is their teenage time, let them do whatever. No, because it's not going to help them ultimately. Because we don't have to shout or yell or go in mode of passion. But in mode of goodness, we have to quote Shastra and we have to tell that no, this is not good. You're following whatever you're following, it has no actually uh, scriptural basis, and therefore if you don't follow scripture, then what will happen? You will be doomed if you don't follow scripture, if you neglect scripture. What to speak of anyone else? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he used to follow scripture. Even he used to follow the scripture. So therefore this is very, very important that we promote the pure philosophy of Krishna consciousness and set the example. Just like Prabhupada used to say about his parents, that any time me or my sister we would wake up, we would see our father is offering arti to Radha and Krishna, ding, ding, ding. So that was impression was imprinted in Srila Prabhupada's mind. The same way, parents have to act in such a way that this is imprinted. That oh, my who are my parents? My parents are persons who are addicted to Krishna, who are addicted to serving Krishna, addicted to loving Krishna. And whenever they get the slightest opportunity, they run to the temple or they run to Srimad Bhagavatam, they run to the bead bag, they run to the holy places. So this should be the impression that we should create among our children. If we don't create this kind of impression, then how will they become enthusiastic to take up pure devotional service? Otherwise, nowadays it's very common. People, teenagers are into dressing, into looking nice, into getting into getting iPad and Mac and this and that, and so then how will someone who is in that path, how will they actually uh, really pursue the real self-interest, right? So it's very important for parents to set an example and speak. So example, Srila Gautama Maharaj says, example is better than precept. But for there to be example, one has to have an environment where we can have such an example. So the first principle is that the home should be uh, like a temple. Activities at home should be like a temple, which means Krishna should be the center. Ultimately, Krishna should be not only the center, Krishna should expand and be everywhere, but at least Krishna should be in the center. That spiritual life should be the how to say, the prime factor in deciding anything. If the children see that the parents are concerned about their spiritual life, then they'll be like, yeah, looks important. My parents, they are considering, okay, is this good for chanting by going here, going there? They are worried about their chanting, they're worried about their consciousness. So therefore, I should also think like that in the future. So yeah, this is very, very important. And this has to be strengthened also. Um, it is not just enough to speak about it once in a while, but no, it has to be strengthened. We have to go to the holy places. We have to hold morning programs at home, not that only in the temple. Even at home also there should be uh, morning programs. There should be discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. There should be discussion on the lives of pure devotees. All these activities are very, 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 very important. Mm. So there should be balance. Although this material world is a place of uh, suffering, it's not the impetus to surrender to Krishna. Surrendering to Krishna should not come because of suffering. Ultimately, this world is neither a place to suffer nor to enjoy. This world is simply a place to surrender to Krishna. So Krishna should be highlighted, right? And Krishna's pastime should be highlighted, like how merciful Krishna is. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam. How wonderful, how merciful Krishna is, that Krishna awarded the position of his mother to Putana. How merciful Krishna was, that even a thief who came to Vrindavan uh, to steal from Krishna, Krishna gave him full mercy. How merciful Krishna is, that Krishna serves the feet of his pure devotee. Just like Krishna always remains with the Pandavas. So in this way, we have to promote Krishna. Some or other, yena tena prakarena, mana Krishna nivishya. We have to promote Krishna. We have to highlight Krishna. We have to promote Krishna as our only worshipable Lord. And the pure devotee of Krishna as uh, our only hope of attaining any good in this world. Generally, we're used to asking things from so many people. But a real intelligent person will go and beg from the pure devotee, because pure devotee is capable of giving everything. Because all the opulences of Supreme Lord are actually in the hand of a pure devotee. If a pure devotee blesses, will be successful in all respects. So we need to look towards the pure devotee and accept the pure devotee as our worshipable deity. Rajas tamasya satvena sattam cha pashamena cha etat sarvam guru bhaktya purusho hi ajasa jayet. So the pure devotee has to become our worshipable deity, the Lord of our heart. Just like we say in Guru Puja, right? The Lord of our heart. So then there will be real auspiciousness. And yeah, this is also very important, that Krishna's pastimes also, it is seen that there should be strictness, there should be mercy also. The purpose of mercy is to make one strict, or the purpose of mercy, we can say, is to make one follow the principles of pure devotion. If someone is following the principles of pure devotion, then their life is successful. They will become pure devotee in due course of time. So yeah, these principles are very, very important. And Srila Prabhupada very clearly personified this. On one hand, Prabhupada was very, very merciful. Prabhupada was very loving, but at the same time, Prabhupada was very strict. How strict was Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada said everyone in the temple should be attending the morning program. Everyone in the temple should be engaged in Krishna's service, should be busy some way or the other. There should be no lazies or crazies. Everyone should be uh, striving, struggling, pushing themselves to sacrifice for Krishna, to hear about Krishna, to chant about Krishna, remember Krishna, to serve Krishna. Like this, everyone should be very, very enthusiastic. So, in the same thing at home also. Actually, I was recently reading a purport of Srila Prabhupada about the duties of wife and husband, and how wonderfully Prabhupada is writing actually. There is no, Prabhupada is, sometimes people criticize Prabhupada as Prabhupada is, you know, favorable to the male section of society. No, Prabhupada is very practical. Prabhupada is very, very practical. If you read Prabhupada purports, if you just read Prabhupada purports, you will understand everything in the right perspective. So, yeah, in this month of Kartik, we should promote the principle of extra endeavor to, go more and more and more to please Krishna. And we should appreciate that also. Like if our children, they are doing more, we should appreciate them. Not that only we appreciate their, school or their, if they chant one round, if they chant one mantra, if they do one kirtan, we should glorify that. Why? Because that's an eternal credit. Because we all started with that. Somewhere we started and we were encouraged. So we should encourage that. It should fan the spark, just like Prabhupada says, fan the spark. Whatever they like to do in Krishna consciousness, we should encourage that. If they are good in singing, we should encourage that at home. First of all, encourage at home. and the whole family should get together and engage in Shravan Kirtan, Shravan Kirtan, Shravan Kirtan. Because when we get taste for Shravan Kirtan, and we like to do Shravan Kirtan, then we get a taste for everything. That's why Prabhupada said, 3 points. Prabhupada said that if we want to be successful in Krishna consciousness, in one line, Prabhupada said, one should be very busy, one should be in the association of devotees, and one should become mad after hearing. If one has these three qualities, for sure, very quickly, he will come out of Maya, he will be liberated position, and he will be qualified to go back to home, back to Godhead. And Prabhupada is very encouraging. Of course, we'll discuss more on this on Saturday, but Prabhupada is so encouraging that Prabhupada said in one purport, like last Bhagavatam class I was speaking, that how one should externally engage and externally execute devotional service and internally should follow a resident of Vrindavan. So, of course, we may not be at that stage, but Prabhupada is encouraging. Prabhupada is encouraging us to uh, think big, aspire for the highest thing in Krishna consciousness. Like Prabhupada is saying in Nectar of Instruction that how, the perfection of everyone, every devotee is to live on the banks of Radha Kund. Of course, it does not mean that we have to leave our service, but internally. So Prabhupada is encouraging, and on one hand, Prabhupada is cautioning, but at the same time, Prabhupada is encouraging also that please aspire for this. Please, because if we don't aspire for these kind of things, then we'll aspire for, putrid, disgusting things in this world, like becoming, no offense, like becoming beautiful, becoming handsome, becoming famous. Because ultimately, all these opulences in the material world are like an illusion. Because actually, it has no reality. Because the persons who are giving us that fame, name, this, that, they are not giving it to us. They're just an agent of, mostly they're just an agent of um, Maya. And instead of encouraging us, it just increases our greed and increases our desire so that we can become frustrated. I became so famous now so that I can become frustrated by someone else who is more famous. I became so rich now only to become envious of someone who is richer than me. I became so beautiful now just to become envious of someone who is more beautiful than me. And yogis are there. There's one famous yogi who is actually very powerful. He had many siddhis, so uh, people used to come to him to actually what is it? Mm, to get something, whatever, learn some siddhis. He used to show some siddhis and they used to give him some Lakshmi. So then later he learned that there's another Baba who was more accomplished. So what he did is he took a gun and he shot that person. So this is the nature of envy. Of course, this is quite extreme. But see, the problem is that when we aspire after material things, it is natural for us to become either envious or to become depressed. Therefore, we have to aspire for the right things, right? Aspire for the right things, promote the right things. See, in spirituality, everyone can become a pure devotee, everyone can become a superstar. I mean, spiritual superstar, everyone can become extraordinary. Why only this person or that person, right? So, yeah, so this Damodar pastime, like Prabhupada said in one lecture, that if you want that kind of reciprocation from Krishna as Krishna's mother, it is available to you also. If you really want, you make advancement, you have that privilege. So, we should be very eager to cultivate our relationship uh, with Krishna, to understand our relationship with Radha and Krishna. And in order to do that, we have to do whatever is necessary, whatever is favorable and avoid whatever is unfavorable. So the purpose of this month is actually to change our character, to change our personality so that we can become, uh, our life can become very conducive uh, to pure devotional service. And the best is to follow the footsteps of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. Just like recently, the disappearance of Narottam Das Thakur. See how much Narottam Das Thakur, even though he was born in such a rich family, Narottam Das Thakur, he was so much attracted to actually Raghunath Das Goswami. He was so attracted to Raghunath Das Goswami. Because of his attraction to Raghunath Das Goswami, therefore, he developed very deep renunciation from this world. And because of that, he was able to leave everything and go to Vrindavan. Right? So, by becoming attracted to a certain personality, you get a certain trait. Just like Raghunath Das Goswami glorifies Sanatan Goswami. Vairagya huk bhakti rasam prayatne apayan mam anabhipsamandam kripamudur yak paradukha dukhi sanatanastam prabhumashrayam. Raghunath Das Goswami quotes in his Vilap Kusmanjali that I was unwilling to drink the nectar of renunciation. Vairagya Yug Bhakti means bhakti laced with renunciation. So I was very uh, against accepting this. But Sanatan Goswami forcefully made me drink this, and therefore I accept him as my Shiksha Guru. Raghunath Das Goswami is saying. So, in the same way, when we become attracted to different personalities, we get their qualities, we get their desires, we get their love for Krishna. So we have to promote these pure devotees of the Lord, read about them, pay obeisances to them, pray to them, etc., etc. And in this way, we can revolutionize our life. So, mm, yeah. So Srila Prabhupada's purports are actually a conglomeration, or you can say they are a combination of all the moods of the previous acharyas. The moods of all the previous acharyas are perfectly manifest in Prabhupada's purports. So you can get to feel Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Haridas Thakur, Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the pure devotees, they are there in Prabhupada's purports. Their moods are manifest. So when we actually read Prabhupada's purports, we get those moods in our heart and we become very happy. But if we collect the moods of this material world, envy, greed, lust, how will we be happy? How is it possible? So it's just a matter of presenting, Prabhupada's purports, presenting Prabhupada's philosophy. Prabhupada's philosophy is very, very attractive, right? So, so that's what I wanted to speak today. I'm sorry I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate, or offensive. But again, I have no realization, I have no qualification. I did not speak anything to indicate anyone. Everyone in our congregation is very wonderful, far more exalted than me. I just spoke as a principle that how we can actually go forward on this path of pure devotion to Krishna. Anyone has any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandas
Done.
pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, can I speak?
Please.
So, Prabhuji, wonderful class today. Actually, the end that you spoke, I was really thinking you have mercy of Srila Prabhupada. To see that Prabhupada has the mood of all previous acharyas, that itself is such a big realization. Thank you for sharing that. I had one small question, Prabhuji. You spoke about how in this month we should promote austerity. So, Prabhuji, for the benefit of all our children, can you share some simple ways how they can improve their Krishna consciousness and actually go deeper in their Krishna consciousness this month?
Yeah, I mean, like basic things we can do, like paying obeisances. See, paying obeisances is great. Paying obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, paying obeisances to the deities, and basically stressing on hearing and chanting. So developing a taste for chanting the holy name, trying to develop a taste for chanting the holy name, and developing a taste for reading, because this is something that we generally may not do much. But in this particular month, uh, if we can promote this reading especially, and try to understand what you're reading, that builds a lot of faith actually. So it really builds a lot of faith when we read, when you, because our children actually, they're very intelligent. Otherwise, how is it possible for them to assimilate such complicated subject matter at school? So they are very intelligent, but unfortunately, they are not exposed so much to the philosophy of pure devotion. You see, if they're exposed, they will naturally become attracted. It is impossible not to become attracted by reading Prabhupada's purport. Just impossible. Because Prabhupada's purports have great power, and they are like fire. So how can someone who comes in contact with fire, how can they remain cold? It's impossible, right? So yeah, I would say promote chanting and hearing, and small, very simple things like paying obeisances, and yeah, paying obeisances, chanting whatever simple prayers like Mangalarti is there, but understanding what it means, that's very important. Many times, they'll chant Guru Ashtak, they don't know what is the meaning. Oh, I don't know. No. So, Guru Puja, what is meaning? I don't know. Because these prayers are very powerful. If you know the meaning and you chant, it is different. Right? What is that? Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttamagati. If actually I understand what's the meaning of this means that attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master fulfills all desires. So if you with faith you recite this, you will get reciprocation. Krishna Prabhupada will fulfill your desires, for sure, for sure. So yeah, and also austerity should be promoted. Austerity means taking inconvenience for spiritual advancement, and specifically taking those austerities that are pleasing to Prabhupada. See, just by doing any austerity, we don't make advancement, but doing those austerities which are specifically helping us to fulfill the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master, like austerity of coming to Mangalarti once a week, or every day waking up and doing Mangal Aarti. The austerity of trying to apply humility in this month, not speaking. Of course, I myself don't do anything. I lack in so many ways. All of you are implementing that. But yeah, this is. I mean, there's nothing specific for children, because you know ultimately the principles of pure devotional service are pure devotion. It's like Dhruva. He accepted the principle of pure devotion, the highest principle, Lolnyam. He became very greedy to see Krishna face to face, eye to eye. And therefore, he got everything. Ultimately, that is the goal, to make them become attracted to Krishna. Something in Krishna, like maybe Bhagavatam, Kirtan, something. And not just attracted to the activity, but attracted to the how to say, the way a pure devotee perform that activity. It's like, okay, we all like to dance, but oh, I would like to dance just like following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya or Vakreshwar Pandit. I want to read Bhagavatam just like Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. I want to chant the holy name like Haridas Thakur. I want to do kirtan like Vasudev Ghosh. uh, I would like to you know uh, develop attachment to Srimati Radharani, just like Raghunath Das Goswami. Uh, like this, promoting that mood. And everything there is there in Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada's purports are like super extraordinary, because what Prabhupada is very encouraging, very encouraging. Prabhupada say, again and again says in his purports that how Krishna is such a reality, and how we can experience Krishna in our life. We can really experience Krishna in our life. So so very, very encouraging spiritually. Prabhupada. So Prabhupada's purports are perfect. On one hand, they destroy our material aspirations, and they encourage us. They give us so much inspiration for spiritual aspirations, and by achieving things spiritually, our material aspirations are automatically fulfilled. So yeah, that's how Prabhupada is very, very attractive, And yeah, I mean, um, it is a natural thing. It is not unnatural. Isn't it natural for us to develop love for Srila Prabhupada because we're associating with our spiritual masters who are made of love for Srila Prabhupada? If they don't have love for Srila Prabhupada, how is it possible for them to do what they're doing now? Like they are sacrificing so much, you know, every day, every month, they're sacrificing so much, you know. So why is that? Because they have such immense love for Srila Prabhupada. Actually, we should notice these things when they speak about Prabhupada. How is there, like Srila Ramnath Maharaj, when he came here, the whole class was about Prabhupada only. And in the examples he quotes, the verses he quotes, everything is quoted by. If you go and listen to Prabhupada's lectures, same. That much they're attached to Prabhupada. So naturally, it is natural for us also to develop that love for Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada purports and Prabhupada's example. Actually, Prabhupada's another aspect of our philosophy, which is maybe not so much promoted, is Prabhupada's memories, like Prabhupada memories and memories of disciples who spend time with Prabhupada. That's very heart touching, actually. Like I quoted in a previous class also that I was reading the memories of one Mataji, I think, Govinda Dasi, someone. So she was mentioning that how in the early days, in the hippie days, Prabhupada was staying in a very downtrodden place, like very smelly, dirty place, like really disgusting. But whenever they would come in contact with Prabhupada, they would feel like they were in heaven. I mean, of course, they could, spiritual world, they would feel so happy that this would appear to be, insignificant. So they would be so happy that they would think that this is very insignificant, all the, trouble that they have to go through. And also I told that example in the previous class that how much austerity Prabhupada endured. Prabhupada went to the store and Prabhupada just had $5 and with tears in his eyes, Prabhupada said that this is for my children. I need to feed my children. You know, so Prabhupada went to such extreme extent that Prabhupada did everything himself without any appreciation or any recognition. So if we promote Srila Prabhupada not just as a guru, but as a personality, we promote him and we speak about his teachings, then automatically it's very attractive, extremely attractive. You just play a 20-minute lecture of Prabhupada and you discuss, so many amazing things will come out in that 20 minutes, just 20 minutes. That's extraordinary, actually. So, and when they will accept Prabhupada, then naturally they will accept uh, associate of Prabhupada. This is natural, they will accept associate of Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is speaking, and whatever Prabhupada is speaking, they are living now. They're living, right? So, yeah, that's the life of of all the pure devotees of Srila Prabhupada. They're simply living what Prabhupada asked them to do. Simple. It's like, what is it? One disciple of Prabhupada, uh, even though he's so old, still he is distributing his books. Still is distributing his books. That means that much faith they have. After so many years, 20, 30, 40 years, they still have that same faith. Like as if Prabhupada told them yesterday, Yesterday I was listening to Sripad Mahendra Prabhu. He was mentioning that when he was doing Kirtan, one time, Prabhupada just turned to him and said Jai. And because Prabhupada said that Jai, his whole life he continued Kirtan. Even there was nobody to appreciate also sometime because ISKCON went through some difficult times. So that is the power, mm, of Prabhupada's mercy and power of the pure devotee's mercy.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing so many nice things. Thank you for actually sharing your faith on Prabhupada.
Mm. And in videos also, yesterday I was watching one video of Prabhupada in Vrindavan. Extraordinary. Wow. Sometimes you just see Prabhupada's face, you see he's just doing very simple things. You can just feel the consciousness. It's like extraordinary consciousness. It's like immediately your consciousness responds to Prabhupada's consciousness. in the videos, things. So it's extraordinary. And of course, in relation to Prabhupada, our gurus are also glorified in most amazing way. Anyone else has any question or comment? Okay, so we will end here. Please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Damodar Mas ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyocha Patanam Pavane Bhyo Vaishnav. Ananta Koti Vaishnav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.